Hey there, today I wanted to talk about something that I get asked all the time. And it's been in the news a lot lately, thanks to Steve Jobs, and it's something that I've actually devoted most of my life to, and that is the cloud. And a lot of people talk about the cloud, but for most, it's sort of a really weird concept that we haven't really grasped and understood yet. So I wanted to give you a little bit of a history about the cloud, tell you where it comes from, and then also show you a couple of the advantages that you can get for your business by using the cloud. And I'm going to use pictures because actually the history of the cloud started in pictures. And the reason why is because we used to draw pictures to show our networks. So in the beginning, back in the 80s, we used to all have PCs in our offices, but if we wanted to share something with each other, we had to put it onto a little floppy disk, and then we would have to walk that floppy disk over to somebody else sitting over here, and that was kind of a pain in the butt. So we developed local area networks. These were networks within an office that were actually wired together, and we had servers on those networks, so we could load stuff onto our servers, and then we even could have databases off of those servers where we could put all the information and run reports, and we were kind of happy about that. Life was good, and we were able to share information. Except, what happened when you had more than one location? So here I am out in another office with another server and another database sitting here, and I'm connected. I'm a local area network, except this is in San Francisco and this is over in New York. And I want to look at the data that's over in the database over here. Well, how do I get to that? So we built another kind of network called a wide area network. And these networks were connected by pipes or by lines. And those lines were provided by the phone company, and they were provided by a cable company, and they're the same lines that the internet runs over today. But because this is sort of like an unknown to most people, we just know that when we have the data, it gets sent over here. We used to draw a cloud because that's all it really was to us. We were sending our data out there, and it was taking that data and making sure that no matter what, it made it to the place it was supposed to make it. Back and forth. And because of this, the phone company, they gave us the pipes, and they gave us what we call the routing, or in other words, making sure that the information made it there. This is what the cloud is. The cloud is really just the part of technology that makes sure that we have enough space to send each other information and also to route information back and forth and make sure it gets to the right place. And that's the cloud. So now a lot of people talk about storing data in the cloud and doing things in the cloud, like using software. And that's sort of a subset of the cloud. So here's what happened after a while. So here we have our office over here, and here we have our office over here. Each one of these guys had software that runs on all the computers and all of the servers. And it costs money and time to keep that software up to date and everything going. So eventually somebody got an idea. They said, hey, I'm going to put my own server up over here with my own database, and I'm going to connect it to the cloud. And for a small fee every month, so we pay to get through here, I'm going to let these guys come here and store their data over here nice and securely and use this database to hold all the information so they could run reports off of it. Well, this gives you a really big advantage because now you don't need your own server and you don't really need your own database. You could just use one sitting out here that's provided to you by the vendor, our friend the vendor. And because they keep it all up to date and maintain it and everything, you don't have to focus on any of that. You don't have to pay for the electricity. You don't even have to pay for any of the updates or people to maintain it. And that's pretty handy. Another thing that people started doing was putting servers out here that actually had some software on it and also databases on the back end connected in order to store your data. And these servers could run all kinds of software. They could run accounting software. They could run project management software. They can run some collaboration software, and so on and so off, and so on and so on. So these guys are also vendors, but they are called software as a service vendors because, again, they will provide you for a fee access to their servers and databases to store your data and have functionality. And this saves a lot of time as well because if I'm running my accounting software using a vendor out here, I don't have to have that accounting software on all of my computers or even on my server. I don't even need to have a database to store that because they're storing it all for me. And what's nice about that is that every time I upgrade or every time they add new functionality and change it, they handle it. I don't have to go to every one of my computers and upgrade it. I don't have to deal with doing it on my server or even upgrading my database. And so software as a service becomes really the functionality out in the cloud. So the cloud is the pipes and the routing to make sure that information gets back and forth provided to you by the phone, the cable, and it's really the internet. And software as a service is what you're getting out here with all of this functionality, all of this software that you could use. And the storage that you get out here has another term, and this is sometimes called infrastructure as a service, or IaaS. That's a little complex, but this is stuff that's just storage out here. They're giving you basically a building to put all your stuff in, except that building is electronic. And down here, again, you're getting all that functionality. So software as a service is what most people talk about when they're talking about the fun things you could do out on the web. The cloud is just your routing and the tubes and the pipes, and infrastructure as a service is where you can go and store your stuff and have all of your information waiting for you when you need it. And that's the cloud and some of the advantages it provides to your business, and that's the origin, is all because of this nice little picture that we like to draw to show what this all looked like.